All right, William F. Stiles is in the studio bringing us inspirational messages. Last week's message has been ringing in my head ever since you gave it, William. William is here to give you another inspirational message, and he sponsors the show himself. He is Mr. Ocala Real Estate Today. Good morning, William.
Hey, good morning. Yes, that's right. My show is sponsored by my company, Mr. Ocala Buys Houses. So if you're thinking about selling your house, now's the time to sell. Real estate's pretty hot right now in Ocala, and I consider myself as the best residential real estate agent here in town, and also investor. So even if you would just like to know how much your home is worth, give me a call. You can reach my office at 352-282-3080. And I can come out and at least just give your house or give you an idea of what your home is worth. So give me a call this week. You know what's interesting? As a speaker, I found myself doubting myself again this week. So why is that? So why is the guy who feels like he has a calling to touch people's lives, to make a difference through his voice? Why am I sitting there doubting myself? Am I meant for this message? Am I meant to touch people's lives? What's interesting is sometimes when you're on the radio and you're out there going after your dream, you don't know what kind of impact you're really making. And this week I had a few people reach out to me, people who I haven't talked to in a long time, and they reached out to me and they said, "William, I've been listening to your radio show, and I've got to tell you, you're giving me hope. You're giving me hope." You know, I've had given up on my dreams. I had given up on what I really wanted to do. You know, I'm 40 years old. My marriage is crap. I just don't have the passion that I really want to have in life. And I'd given up. And so by listening to you, William, you've given me hope that it's not over. It's not too late. I can still go and create what I want to create in life. And by getting those testimonials, by having somebody tell me the impact that I'm making on their life, it's really gave me a shot in the arm to keep going. Do you ever feel unworthy of going after your dreams? Do you ever feel that you're not good enough, that maybe you're not making the kind of impact that you want to make? Do you ever feel like giving up? I do. Maybe you're not meant to be perfect. Maybe this path that you're on is not meant to all come together in a perfect way like you think it should. Maybe the struggles that you're going through right now are meant to make you stronger. Maybe these struggles that you're going through right now are not meant to defeat you, are not meant to hurt you, but instead are there to strengthen you. What if you're not meant to be perfect? What if you're meant to be pretty darn amazing instead? You know, I watched this movie, Bad Moms, this week with a friend. And I guess I don't want to spoil the movie, you know, but the concept is that, you know, there's so many demands that we place on ourselves. And I guess as mothers, you know, I'm not a mother, but, you know, that mothers place so many demands on themselves as far as having to be perfect, having to look perfect, having to behave perfectly, having to, you know, the work and take care of the kids and the cooking and then the soccer and all the demands that it takes to be a woman in society today. That you're expected to be perfect. You're expected to have all the answers. You're expected to be transforming yourself all the time. Your body, your career, your relationships, everything's supposed to be perfect. But the idea is, what if we're not supposed to be perfect? What if we're not meant to be perfect? This whole idea that says you've got to have it all figured out. You've got to have all the answers, that you have to be perfect in order to be happy. You have to have it all figured out in order to have what you want. What if you're not meant to be perfect? What if we're not made to be perfect? What if instead we're made to be pretty darn amazing? What if instead we're made to say, you know what? I am pretty darn amazing right now, today. Not after I make the $1 million, not after I lose the 100 pounds, not after I find the guy of my dreams or the woman of my dreams. No, I mean, what if you're meant to be pretty darn amazing right now, today? What would you do with that? What if you accepted yourself right now? What if you completely accepted who you are in this moment? What if you said, you know what, I'm not perfect, but I'm still pretty good. I still have a lot of value to give to the world. I still have a lot to give to my family, to my children, to my community, to my work. What would you do with yourself? What would you do with yourself right now if you dropped the idea that there is something wrong with you? If you dropped the idea that things are supposed to be perfect and come into perfect alignment and everything's supposed to be easy for you? What would you do? What would you do today? Just take a deep breath. So take a deep breath and relax and relax. And accept who you are. So you're right now where you are. Some things you didn't control. So, you've been put into your circumstances. Some things that were out of your control, but the vast majority of it is completely in your control and of your own decision making. So accept the responsibility for where you're at. Accept responsibility for your own imperfection. Accept responsibility for your own amazingness. So what are you going to do today? What are you going to do? What are you going to do today if you're not beating yourself up? What are you going to do today if you can do anything you want to? Would you start that book that's on your mind? Would you make that phone call to that special someone you've been thinking about? Would you ask them out? Would you start that business? Would you go for a walk? Would you sit the Twinkies down, turn off the TV, and go for a walk? What are you going to do today? What are you going to do? This idea actually has been circling around in my mind for many years now. What would I do if I wasn't trying to transform myself? What would I do if I wasn't trying to perfect myself? What would I do if I wasn't walking around with this feeling of being not worthy, not good enough to attract the mate of my dreams, or not good enough to go out and build my dream business or have the career that I want? What would I do? What would life look like? I mean, my whole life is wrapped around trying to be perfect, trying to look perfect, trying to, situate everything in life so that everything is lined up and I'm perfect and everybody can look at me on Facebook and I see all my pictures and everything else and like, wow, this guy's got it all figured out. What would I do if I wasn't trying to put forth the impression that I had it all figured out? To be honest with you, I don't have all the answers. Even to this day, I don't know exactly what I would do. Even to this day, I struggle with that. So what would you do? What would you right now? What's in your heart to do? There is something stirring in your soul. There is something that's been there for a while that you've been thinking about doing, that you've been desiring to do, that you're being compelled to go for. And I'm here today to say, you got to go for it. You have to do it. What else is there to do in life except to go for your dreams? What else is there to do? Are we just going to sit around and tolerate our existence? Or are we just going to sit around and tolerate things the way they are? Are we going to just, accept things when we're powerful, creative beings that can go out and create whatever we desire? Come on. Come on. Get up. You can do this. You got this. Step up now. You got this. What if you were never meant to be perfect? What if this path you're on was never meant to be smooth, was never meant to be easy? Because if it was easy, it would not shape you into the man and into the woman that you must become. I know you. I know you're challenged. I know it. I'm challenged too. I was sitting in Starbucks this week on Wednesday morning and had pretty much had given up on my speaking career. It's so funny today on Friday morning, but it's the truth. So I'm sitting there and it was over. I mean, I'm like, I'm not good enough. This is not meant for me. I'm not meant to do this job. And I actually sat next to this gentleman and that I had met probably about 15 years previously, and he told me back then that he had a dream to help people. He had a dream to create housing for homeless people, for when they could come in, and he was going to provide like shelter for them and different programs for to rehabilitate themselves so that they can eventually graduate and move on to a better life. And fast forward 15 years, and he's doing it. And I thought, man, I remember sitting with him so many years ago and him sharing me his idea, and now it's coming together. And, I'm a pretty open person. And so I shared with him what was going on with me. I said, listen, I have this dream to be a speaker, but I have this doubts. I don't think I'm good enough. And so I was sharing with him some speaker topics that I speak on. And I was sharing those speaker topics this week, and he said, these are amazing topics. The people that are in my group, they need to hear from you. They need to hear what you have to say. And it just gave me another jolt that, yes, I must move forward. Not just that I can, that I have to. So do you ever wonder why the dream that's in your heart, the dream that's in your soul right now, that maybe there's a reason for that dream. Maybe there's a purpose. Maybe there's people around you right now that needs you to step up. That needs you to step up and go after it. What about your kids? What about your son and your daughter? And they're looking at you right now. What if they need you to go for it? What if they need you to not give up? What if they need you to not sit around feeling unworthy, feeling not good enough? What if they need to see an example of someone living on fire? What if they need to see their mom right now living on fire? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to give up on them? Are you going to give up on your little ones, your precious little ones? What if the people you work with are really struggling and they need to see somebody, they need to see an example of somebody going after their dreams? What if the people around you need you to go after your dreams? You got to do it. You can't give up. I think the dream is in your soul. That stirring that's there is there for a reason. And it's not to make yourself perfect. It's not to make you this picture of perfection on Facebook and out in the world. Maybe it's meant to touch the lives of the people around you. I know it's hard. I know, I get it. I totally get it. I'm not perfect myself. That's so funny. I could totally relate. I can totally relate, but you can't quit. You have to keep going. What else are you going to do anyway? Seriously. If it's going to take you 2 years to write that book, if it's going to take you 2 years to change the career that you're in, if it's going to take you 2 years to lose the weight, that time is going to pass anyway. You're going to wake up 2 years from now and you will have either done it or not done it. And if you don't do it, you can fast forward until you're sitting there in hospice one day with the number one regret of people who are on their deathbed, saying, I wished I had went for my dreams, but I settled instead. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I suggest you go for it. I suggest you go for it because not only do you need it, but your kids need it, your family needs it, your community needs it. Everybody needs you to go after your dream. And you have no guarantee of success. No one can guarantee you success. I am not the pie in the sky guy that's going to sit here and tell you, just go for your dreams and you're guaranteed success, because I'm here to tell you that chances are you're going to fail. Chances are you're going to screw it up. But the truth is, you got to be willing to suck before you can get good. Think about it. When you're riding a bicycle, you were terrible riding that bicycle at first, till you got better. You got to be willing to suck long enough until you get good. So are you willing to do that? Are you willing to look bad? Are you willing to look bad? Are you willing to suck long enough to get good at what you need to do? Are you willing to give up a little sleep? Are you willing to give up some TV? Are you willing to give up some Facebook time to create the space to write that book, to lose the weight, to spend time with your kids, to change the career? I remember working in a job that I hated. I've never really liked working for anybody, actually. I always said I was an amazing employee. Like, I could go to work for somebody and be be a rock star for like 2 months. Be like, William, you're the man, right? But then after 2 months, I would get totally bored, and I'd be, this is just not for me. Then I was the type of person that I just didn't care. So I would like either leave early, stop showing up, and it would be horrible. But then other times, for financial reasons, I was forced to stay there. I was forced to stay in a job that I hated because I had to, for financial reasons. I know no one out there that's listening to me right now has any idea what that feels like. I know none of you know what it feels like to do work that you don't like, but you feel like you have to for money. Oh, it was awful. To feel like you're trapped. To feel like the walls are coming in from every direction. And I remember being in that position saying, man, I got to do something. This cannot be my life. Absolutely not. I've got to do something. So I always had a dream to create a business, to build my real estate career. But I found myself going to work every day, working from, say, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, thinking when I get off work, then I'm going to go out and work on my business. On the weekends, okay, I've got 2 solid days I'm going to work on my business. But when I'd get off work, I'd be tired. I'd be pulled into the TV, into the Facebook, into the million other distractions, into the women, into everything but going after what was really important to me. So here's what I learned, that if you're in that position right now, and I know I'm speaking to somebody right now, I know there's a reason why this is coming through me, because there's someone that this is touching. So here you are in a job that you hate, but you're trapped. You have to be there. The key is this. What I learned is that you can bear anything as long as you have a dream. As long as you have a vision, you can bear that. But the moment you go to work, the moment you're at work, and you get off work, and you don't go after your dream, the moment you just distract yourself until the next day, you just recuperate till the next day, and on the weekends you just kind of play around until the next week, your life will be a living hell as long as you do that. But the moment that you start using your free time to go after your dream, to write that book, to exercise, to create the business that you want to create, the moment that you start doing that on the side, you can bear almost any pain of a day job. Because it's not even about that, because then you actually transform the job from your life, like this is the way it is, to this is a foundation. This job is my bank. It's like providing this foundation and paying my bills while I go for my dreams. That you actually turn your job into an amazing thing for you. It's serving you. This job that you hate is actually serving you when you're going after your dreams. So I want to compel you today that when you get off work today, to go for it. Break it down to a simple, okay, you've heard the expression, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And if you find yourself not taking action on your dream, you got to break it down into smaller steps. You may think you've broken it down into smaller steps, but if you're not taking action, you got to break it down even smaller. When it comes to exercise, it may be as simple as, hey, I'm going to put on my clothes and walk to the mailbox. I'm not going to create some elaborate diet that I'm going to follow this afternoon. No, today I'm just going to count my calories, or I'm going to eat a salad. Break it down into a small, manageable step. And today, take that step. Truth is, today is all we got. We like to think that we have forever, and the truth is, you just don't. Who knows? We all have a clock. And we don't know when it's going to expire. But you're going to have a lot more fun in life if you're going after your dreams. So what are you going to do? What's your choice today? Are you going to tolerate existence the way it is? Or are you going to live in pain? Are you going to sit there living in pain, dreaming of a perfect life that if you could just transform everything about yourself, if you could just lose the 100 pounds, make up $1 million, find the perfect mate, then you're going to love yourself? Or are you going to accept yourself right now as being pretty darn amazing, and you're going to start walking the journey? Start walking the path, one small step at a time. So what are you going to do? Break it down. It's time to take the first step. You've delayed long enough. You've played long enough. You've watched enough TV. You've surfed enough internet. You've played around with enough guys. It's time to focus on you. It's time to focus on your dream. It's time to focus on your family. It's time to focus on those that are closest to you. It's time to be an inspiration for your community. And you can do that by following your dream. That's what's so beautiful about this life. You can do that by following your dream. Because that's what people need. They need an example of people that are going after what they desire in life. And you can be that example. I implore you to stand up today and be that example. So today is the day. This is all you have. Go for your dreams. Now this message has been sponsored by Mr. Ocala Buys Houses. Real estate is hot right now in Ocala. Not only do I buy houses, but I'm also a real estate agent here in Ocala with Ocala Realty World. I love those guys. They're like amazing. So please call me if you want me to come in and tell you how much your house is worth and what you can sell it for. I want to be here to help you. If you're looking to hire a speaker, I want to come in and help your organization grow. So reach out to me, 352-282-3080. Or you can go to my website, MrOcalaBuysHouses.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see you. Hope you have an amazing day. See you next week. Bye-bye.